All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Chaos Conversation on a Tuesday. Let's go.
Yeah, we here. And you know this, man?
How was your week, Bruce?
Man, it's been great, man. Shoot, man, this week, man, I ain't gonna say anything that happened to me this week, but hey, you'll get the message sooner or later. And it's I mean, hey, this weather getting nice, man.
Yeah, we had two good days, right? We had one day where it was almost 80, I guess, and then today it was 71-ish, 2-ish or whatever. So I mean, it felt great. I had shorts on. Yeah. Can't ask for more.
Hey, ladies, I almost say, man, if you're gonna be out there rocking the flip flops, make sure you go to that pedicure first, mom.
Would you have something against those toes hanging over the edge of the over the edge of the slides?
I'll tell you the man that
talking to you.
I'll tell you the man that I can't stand is when ain't nobody even looking that far, and all I can hear in a line when I walk into Walmart, hey man, watch my nails. I'm like, woman, I'm over here just walking in the daggum store, and you hollering about some nails over here in line number 4 or something mess like that. I don't give a the hands or the toenails, the fingernails or the toenails, man. I mean, women just be like, because women know once she gets one nail jacked up, she got to go buy a whole new set. I'm like, dadgum, man, dadgum. I mean, one nail jacked up, she got to go buy.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, it's getting warmer. It looks like the weather's gonna cool back off.
When?
But over the next few days, things are gonna cool back off.
But then that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it was that storm in, what was it, Mississippi, the tornadoes that outbreak killed a lot of people, stuff like that.
I didn't catch it. It probably did. It probably did.
Yeah, so definitely some different weather coming in over the next few days, probably.
Mm-hmm.
At least cooler. At least a cooler front.
Hey man, I ain't got time to care, man. Cause like I be telling you, I'm from Nebraska, and this kind of weather here, whether it's winter, fall, summer, spring, don't matter. Ain't nothing compared to Nebraska, man. It's cold here.
Yeah, you guys get tornadoes out there in Nebraska.
Yeah, and not only that, you're like 4 or 5 inches of snow, man, on the first day of fall, and you still got to walk to school.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But down here, y'all messing in North Carolina, y'all been messing around, delaying everything for 6 hours, everything closed for 4 weeks. If y'all even y'all be closing everything down, man. I'm like, what's the perk, man? Like, and everything gone off the shelves at Food Line, at Piggly Wiggly, at Walmart, any Lowe's food, all the shelves be gone of all products and certain all products they offer.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, let's go ahead and jump right in. Number one question or topic that we've been hearing about so much, people have been talking about is, especially with we're getting warmer and it's becoming almost spring, or spring is here, and people are getting prepared for summer and traveling and going to the beach and hanging out and doing different things. Guess what? Sometimes you like to go with the fellas and go hang out, and the girls like to go with the girls and have girls weekends. But then sometimes you're like, you know what? I'm trying to find that significant other. Why is it so hard? We've been hearing this a lot, everybody. Why is it so hard to find the one, or one specifically that fits the mold that you're truly interested in? Mm-hmm. And I know we have a lot to say about that, so I'll go ahead and let you spit one of your thoughts on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, and this right here is this shouldn't surprise you, but if you find it hard to find that woman, find that man in your life, maybe it's just to be with, to be committed to. You want that exclusive contract with him or her. This is one thing I'm hearing, I'm seeing, and I'm learning myself, is having the same standards and the same preference as to when you were in your mid-20s to early 30s, and now you sit here in your 35 to 40 plus, having those same standards and that same preference in a mate. You have to give it a little update, a little upgrade, if you sit here and find it that difficult to run across a good man and good woman. That's one thing it really is. Because some of y'all ladies be like, here you is 25, 26, you haven't had a child yet, and you're still trying to enjoy your young days, and you want a man to have this car, home, job, make 6 figures, and all this other crazy stuff. You don't want him to have any kids. And it's like, okay, by the time you 36 to 38, going on 40, you might have to go ahead and lower your standards a little bit, because by that age, a man will normally have a child or two by that time. Normally, not all of us, but some men will. So there's some standards you got to kind of lower just a little bit, and then you have to be like,
now, would you consider that, is that a standard, or is that just a preference, though?
For some women, you know, and for some women, it's a for some women it is a preference. For most women, it is a preference. It just depends on where she's at in life, because a lot of women, they'll be like, all right, well, you know, at this stage of my life now, ladies have to learn how to overlook. They have to overlook respect, love, trust, loyalty over all those material things they wanted when they were, you know, in their mid-20s to early 30s. And a lot of women are not doing that. Some men aren't doing it either, but you know, most men don't always ask for that in a woman and for their preference or his standards anyway. He'll be like, all right, by at least by 28 to 34, he'll at least have some kind of side hustle going on. So his mindset is not, I need this woman to be in my life for, you know, for any kind of protection or anything like that, because most men won't look at that. He'll be like, I need a woman who can support me, versus like we were talking about earlier, man, have the biggest butt, prettiest smile, and all this other crazy mess going on. No baby daddy drama. Sometimes a man's mature level, as he matures, it will go ahead and start to carry a bit more maturity in his actions of what he prefers in a woman. Some fellas are picking up on that, some fellas are not. But I mean, a lot of men, we just like, all right, I got my car detailing business, you know, I have a 9 to 5, and this is my standard, this is my preference in a woman, but I'm going on 38, going on 40, I'm 38, going on 40. And so some men will be like, all right, if she has a child, hey, you know, I'll take him. But she has to have this right here with it also, because he realizes that, hey, at this stage in his career, a lot of men are like, well, some men will be like, I realize I can't have this, I can't get that no more, so I have to, you know, lower the preferences, lower the standards, or, you know, tweak them a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say lower. I would just say, yeah, adjusting to the reality of the situation.
There you go.
Because the reality is, I'm about to say what I got to say on one comment, but just to respond to yours, I think as people get older, like you said, number one, we change, we grow, right? Every year you grow as a person, or you should every year, right? Every 5 years you grow tremendously. Every 10, you're growing, you know, you might be a completely different person than you were 10 years prior, right? A lot more mature. Your wants are different, and possibly your needs are different. So when it comes to finding a partner, or you know, trying to find somebody that you're compatible with enough to date, etc., it changes from 21, let's say 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 to 60. You know what I'm saying? Those needs are very different.
They are.
My thoughts on why it's challenging, or why is it becoming more difficult to find a, you know, romantic, I'll just call it romantic partner or whatever. I think one of those things is people are limiting their circle, or like their social network, right? So like if you have a small network, or you have a small social network, you might not be exposed to different types of people, right? Maybe everybody in your social network thinks the same way you do. Maybe they do the same things you do and go to the same places you do. But guess what? Maybe that's not working for you. Maybe you need to step outside that box, expand that social network so that you meet new people. And by meeting new people, maybe you can meet somebody that you're compatible with, and maybe you can learn from them. And, you know, maybe it ends up, you know, you go on a few dates, or, you know, you see what happens. But I think people have to step outside their comfort zone of that social, that little small box, right? And people that are saying at home, oh, well, give us an example. Okay, let's say you're a teacher at a school, and you do nothing but hang around those teachers at the school. Maybe, and historically, as you know, most teachers at certain levels, like elementary school, middle school, high school, there's different levels or whatever, or college. Usually, like, this is my personal opinion based on what I've seen over the years. Usually in elementary school, there's usually younger teachers in elementary school. Middle school, you get a little bit of both, kind of some younger, some middle-aged. High school, it gets a little bit more diverse, but you do have a little bit more people straight out of high school, but also you have a good chunk that have been teaching for a while, because high schools are a little bit more difficult to deal with sometimes. So let's say it's an elementary school teacher, right? Let's say it's a high school teacher, but she's young. So maybe the people that she's around are married. A lot of people, and she's just hanging around a lot of those teachers doing activities like that or whatever. Maybe you need to step outside that box. Go to maybe some different groups, join some clubs, join some social clubs. Maybe if you like to play volleyball or some sports or something, do those social things like that bring you together with people that are not teachers and not in that little specific circle.
Like you said, the comfort zone. And see, you know what? I'm gonna tell one dude who was like, man, why are women so difficult to find, so difficult to come across? And I've said this many times before. It's always going to be, I don't care who you are, where you are in life, it's always going to be difficult if you're the one looking. If you're, everybody I've talked to, not one couple out of all these, well, I probably interviewed for over a decade now, not one couple ever told me they woke up and were looking for their mate the same day they met them. Not one. They always be like, they always be like, hey, I went to work, I was late, I didn't have my coffee or whatever it was. And next thing you know, like Sam, he can attest to this because that's where he met wifey at. It's like you go to Starbucks, you go to the mall, you go wherever to shop. I mean, some folks shop it online, but it's like everywhere you go, that's the best way. I even told old dude, man, that's the best way you'll find your mate is when you're not looking. So the thing is, I told him, I stayed on him like that more. I said, it ain't the women. I said, dude, you done told on yourself, man. ladies and gents, if you are looking, I don't care if you like going to the club. If you are looking, then you ain't gonna find him or her. That's just that simple. So things like Sam was saying, go out and enjoy yourself. I don't care if it's go to a NC State game, go to a daggum Dookie game, whatever. When you go out there to the game, you are going to watch the athletes play. You ain't going there to look for him or her. Because every time you looking for him or her, a lot of times you look either desperate or too what's what I was going to say, too anxious. And you look and it's like, all right, people can sense that energy when you out here looking. So that's the main thing is you can have your standards, you can have your preferences all laid out in your mind, but at the same time, while we out here and like me, everywhere I go, I'm either working or a lot of times, me, Sam, I'll go out there and I'll be prospecting for business every now and then because it's just a habit I have. I'm always trying to see, who wants to take care of their family, their loved ones. I mean,
right, very true.
I'm not looking for her, but I'm just like, all right, if I see a woman with kids, my old mom says, hey, man, these kids, need to learn this, need to, be covered by that. That's what my mom said, jumps to. I don't approach women who have, I don't approach them right away. It's just something that strikes my mind. I mean, like today, I just left, I took my guy out to one of the guys that I mentor. I took him out for lunch at Bojangles. And I'm like, all right, I'm sitting there. And I mean, I didn't go there looking for her, but next thing I know, a woman hears my conversation with another worker at Bojangles. She does like I always do. I don't know why people do this, period. They always introduce themselves. So I started talking to her, but then you know what? I said, listen to what she was saying. I said, okay, I made a judgment. I said, I'm at work. This ain't a good time because, there's too much going on. So not look, sometimes in cases like that, men and women, you will not find.
You didn't get an info? You didn't get a social media, nothing?
I gave her my card.
Okay.
Because, the kind of work I do, you got to give your client your full attention. You can't turn your eye away from some people for a second because they'll be taking other people's food and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff Mike does. But I mean, the answer to that dude's question, and many other y'all tuning in is, again, here on Chaos Conversation, we're keeping it real, man. And the best way you'll find is stop looking. And this summer is just another year 2023. I mean, it's not really all that much, has changed. Time done sprang for the hour and all that good stuff. But at the same time, when you go out, I don't care if you go out to sing, do some karaoke, go out to, dance, go out to eat, go out to do whatever.
Right.
It's, they ain't gonna be not hard to find. It's just, I think people make it difficult for themselves because of their standards and their preferences.
Yeah, you got to go outside of the box sometimes, like you said.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me think about the next thing on the list to find it unchallenging. I know. Okay. So I believe sometimes, actually not sometimes, it's actually a lot, especially when it comes to women, but for a lot of men as well these days. It seems like a lot of these things we say things sometimes, and we're talking from a man's perspective, but a lot of these things cross over between men and women, especially these days.
What's that?
Because you got a lot of emotional guys out here.
Oh yeah.
That are almost just as emotional as females are, and I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Fellas out here acting like they're just the most emotional creatures on the earth, and that's okay if you're that way, but you got to understand the game you're playing when you're trying to find a female as your partner, who the majority of females, biologically speaking, or think more emotionally than guys do traditionally.
Yes.
But I think the another big thing is expectations, right? So people, I think a lot of times, and it's been, in our experience, it's been more times usually as females and males, and with certain things. It depends what we're talking about, like what things they're talking about are unrealistic. But I think a lot of times some people have unrealistic expectations when it comes to finding a partner or whatever, or somebody they're going to date or whatever, just meeting somebody. They, like you just said, people have this long list of requirements and criteria and preferences that a potential partner must meet, right? So then that makes it that much more difficult to find someone who can check off all those boxes, right? Ladies, listen to me now. If he's got to be over 6 feet, that's one box.
Yeah.
If he's got to be not even 6 feet, he's got to be over 6'2".
Yep.
That's one box. He's got to make 200,000 plus. That's another box. He's got to, let's say, never been to prison. Okay, another box. He's got to be, come from this type of home. Another box.
Yes.
He's got to drive this type of car. Another box. He's got to wear these type of clothes. Another box. He's got to, let's say, depending on the age, maybe not have kids, or maybe have kids, depending on the age. That's another criteria. He's got to be this religion. Another criteria. So every time you add another requirement or preference or whatever you want to call it, whatever expectation to the list, guess what? You're shrinking that list down. So as an example, we like to give examples here. So we're going to give you an example. If you started with 100,000 single guys that you were interested in, and then let's say we start checking those boxes. So boom, you go to 6'2". Well, guess what, ladies? The average height of a male in the United States is 5'9". So now you've already cut off the average guy. You've already cut him off. Mm-hmm. So now you're talking about guys that are of elite height. Bruce is not 6'2". Mm-hmm. I'm not 6'2". We have some, yeah. We have some, but
T and Dale, that's it.
It's only maybe a third of them that are that height. Okay, so now you got to say, okay, now you got, well, before you do that, we got to get rid of the guys that are dating someone already, guys that are married. Yep. So you cross that takes a huge chunk, right? Then you go to height, boom, that knocks off, because now you're looking above average. Now let's go to income. Now you're saying, oh, I want a guy that makes over 6 figures or over 2, and females have gotten a little bit more extreme these days. They want you to make over 200,000. I hear that quite a bit. You'd be surprised how often I hear that. Not just 100K. We're talking about double that, or over 150K. Okay, so cool. That's fine. That's what you want. Guess what? That narrows that list down even more, because how many people, even entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs don't make that. Let's just be honest. So now you're talking about the elite of the elite when it comes to income bracket, right? High paying, high earners, usually people that are either very successful as entrepreneurs, or they went to school for a long time and are successful and with certain careers there that they had to go to and do extra schooling for, right? So, okay, then what's the next one we said, Bruce? Okay. Oh, not have kids. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So after you shrunk that list down, now you got to check, depending on your age. If you're over 30, the chances of you having a child are probably a lot higher.
Oh, yeah.
So now you say, oh, he can't have kids. Okay. That shrunk that list of 100,000 down. Now, let's say we're at about 5,000 now. Now you're saying, okay, he's got to dress a certain way. He's got to have a certain kind of car, minimum standard of car, right? For you.
Luxury.
Okay. So even though that guy makes that kind of money, maybe he doesn't drive around in those types of cars, you know, because he doesn't want, he wants to show off all the stuff. He just want to blend in and do his thing. He's saving, he'd rather spend his money on vacationing and buying more property or invest in that money to grow it and become a multimillionaire. Okay. But you didn't know that. You didn't, they didn't know that, Bruce. They didn't know that. So they've already thrown him to the side already before they even found out what he was bringing to the table. Okay. And I'm not even going to go down even any more checklists because, you know, we've spent 10 minutes on it, but you can keep, as you see people, as you continue to add items to that list and criteria and requirements or preferences, as Bruce calls them all the time, you keep narrowing that search box down more and more and more. And now you end up with such a narrow amount of people. Again, that's just who you want. That doesn't mean they want you or you fit their standards. So now you kind of understand what we're talking about. Like what you say, Bruce, what's that saying? What they say? It's a numbers game, right? It is truly a numbers game, but you've narrowed your numbers from 100,000 down to only 1,000 now. And now you expect to find somebody like that. It doesn't happen that way.
No, man. And see that's not, and some men do the same thing, but men are not. Men have shown in the past they're a bit more flexible. I mean, they'd be like, all right,
I think so.
She got to be this age. And sometimes he'll be like, she got to be 8. I mean, I'm gonna say no more than 10 years my age, because a lot more men will date up or they'll date down because they're stuck in the middle with so many choices. Right. So what they'll do as men mature, they'll be like, all right, I'm 38, giving to go on 40. Okay, she can't be 12 to 10 years older. She's gonna be 6 to 8 years younger or 6 to 8 years older because he's right there in the middle. Where some women will be like, all right, you know, most women will marry men and want to prefer men who are older than they are. So the gap is a little bit more, you know, bigger than for women than it is for men. I mean, but to each his own when it comes to the age, because I mean, it's you know, it's all about the mature level, the mentality of where she's at. Now, if she, the lowest I probably would take was someone say I'm 40 now, so the lowest I would take is at least 28, going on 30, because you know, but her mature level got to be. She can be 28 going on 30, but her mentality has to at least be 34
right.
or 30 plus, because, you know, there's some people who are younger in age, but they've matured, they've experienced a lot of things in life that, you know, those who are older than them haven't even, like they've been to the services or something like that.
Right.
You know, they've been around the world. So,
and I agree. Most females mature faster than guys. We're both guys. We can admit that, you know, and we understand why women date up at a younger age. Like when you're in high school, you got females dating college guys. When you're in college, the females are dating guys almost 30. You know, I get it to some degree. I do understand because there's a lot of immature guys out here. But then also, like Bruce said,
then you got guys who are, you know, who are my age, maybe 35 to my age, and you know, a lot of women in their age gap, they have already lost their prime as a single woman, and they have, you know, children, and sometimes some men don't want that. Some men want to have his own. They don't want someone else's, and it's okay to be like that. But that's why I've learned that older men will date younger women because he still wants his, like, who's his name? Shamal Moore. I think Shamal Moore just had his first child about 2 months ago, if I'm not mistaken.
How old is it? Do you know how old how old the mom is?
Well, she's older than I am, is all I know.
Okay, but how old is he? He's in upper 50s?
54, somewhere around there.
Okay, mid 50s, yeah, okay.
See, he had to find a woman younger that could have a child he wanted. I'm pretty sure he wanted one by now. He's 50 plus. I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't know how old he is, but he just had one. And a lot of times, women when they're younger, it's gonna be difficult to find one. And ladies, I've said this time and time again. For those of you all who believe in this name I'm about to mention, ladies, if you have preferences and standards so high that the man who walked on water couldn't qualify for you, if he was still living on this earth, the same age, height, complexion, size, making money he was before they crucified him, if that man named Jesus Christ cannot qualify for you, he was perfect now. You cannot expect no man born in sin to qualify for you. That's you who has to take a step back and, you know, do some adjusting to your preferences and your standards. I don't care how young you are, how old you are. It's just, I mean, that's the best example I can give you. Now, for the fellas, it's a lot of fellas, they're not looking for protection. Well, a lot of fellas will look for in a woman is just a peace of mind. But what a lot of women are doing to women, because I mean, what a lot of women are doing to men, because I've heard them and I've spoken to them, is they judge him so fast, like Sam said, based on what he drives, how he dresses, how tall he is. And before you know it, that man probably has everything. The ladies, he probably has any and everything you're looking for in a man. He can cook. He's clean. He's not that OCD, but he has his job. He has his business. Whatever you look for, he makes six figures, whatever. But you can't even get to him because your standards and your preferences keep blocking him from the first thing you see. That's the issue with and some men do that. Some men do that too. Some men will block you.
Definitely.
But
men
some men will block.
Usually, I don't hear a lot of men. You know, we still have a lot of single friends and people that have been in relationships and married and single now or whatever. But I never really hear them say, "Oh, well, this woman needs to make X, Y, Z." That's never like the top of the list. They don't say, "Oh, she has to be this height." Now, some of them will say weight. Like, yeah, they don't want somebody that's like on that show. What's that show? My 800-pound Life.
I haven't seen that in forever.
So they don't want an 800-pound person. But they're like, if this person, let's say they're overweight, but they're working on themselves and they're working every day and showing they're trying to be better and better themselves and eat healthy and do these things. A lot of guys will take that chance. Whereas I'm just going to be honest, a lot of these females won't take that chance, or some. I'm not gonna say all. I didn't say all, but I'm just being honest with this generation and who's out here right now, what we're seeing these days in 2023. When I'm talking about 2020, when I'm talking about 2010 or 2001, the 01 class, them Bulldogs. We're not talking about us from the South Side. Let's go. We're talking about these 2023 people, and we're not talking about age. We're not saying they're 19, 20. We're talking about 40 and 50-year-olds that act and behave like they're 22 years old mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's see another one here.
One other thing I hear.
Oh, go ahead.
Hold on to that is too many men and women. You guys are, I believe, making it difficult for yourselves because you're trying to be and act and dress and think like what you see on TV and what you see on social media. That's the reason you're making it difficult for the other party to even approach you, because of how you're trying to act and be like those you see on TV and entertainment, and you're not being your damn self. That's why
you said they're trying to be on the bad girls club. Is that what you're saying?
Hey man, and women, they're always trying to be like. Too many of them they want to be like who and what they see on TV. I'm like, people, we are common sense that, man. TV is entertainment, but be your damn self. Stop trying to be like those around you. And that's why you see, once you walk into a room somewhere, that energy of what you're trying to be like, just like kids and animals, they can sense when you really love them. And kids and animals are the best at. Well, guess what? People can sense when you faking who you are. It's just the energy that comes around. It's like, you can try your pimp walking, ladies. You can try a fake Gucci bag, whatever it is, or this or that. But when you are trying to fake,
why I gotta be fake? Huh? I said, why I gotta be fake?
No, I'm saying because sometimes they'll just, I've known women who do that. You see them with one Gucci bag, and then you walk past them in line somewhere, and next thing you know, that mess is peeling off and stuff, man. And then fellas be sitting there, acting like something they're not, and it's like, all right, man, when you do that, you're gonna make it difficult for yourself, even for a woman, or fellas, you will make it difficult for a woman to approach you if you're not being yourself, and ladies, you make it difficult for a man to approach you by not being yourself, because the first thing they sense or look at is, why is he or she acting like that? And there's no reason to, because you're trying to be somebody you're not. And that's another reason relationships will, because before anybody can take the first step, it's like you've already brushed them off or turned them off, I should say.
Right. Very true. I think I know, because we see it every day. People essentially having the fear, being afraid, and the fear of rejection, right? So people don't put themselves out there like that. And that's a huge thing when it comes to meeting other people. And this goes across the line. This doesn't even have to deal with dating. This could be going to get a job. Yeah. This could be just meeting people in the business arena or the field you're in. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about dating and meeting people and all that good stuff, relationships. So the fear of putting yourself out there, kind of like what we talked about earlier. Maybe you don't like to go to you don't like to go to certain places. Maybe you don't like to go to bars. You don't like to go to you know, lounges or go hear like live music, stuff like that, or concerts, or, you know, maybe a wine, not even a regular bar, maybe just like a wine store, lounge or whatever, or, you know, a bookstore. You know, you don't want to put yourself out there. You see, you're seeing that become more and more common because now, guess what we have? These things we're talking into, these phones and computers, where everybody's on their phones and computers, and at the touch of a button, they're using an app.
Yep.
They can just text somebody and swipe to the left, swipe to the right, check box, like, do this, do that, or whatever. And so you have a lot of people that, especially this younger generation, I really feel for them because they're so accustomed to this stuff that they're not able to have real conversations with people when they actually interact with them in person. You know what I'm saying? Other than school, but then a lot of them, I mean, I volunteer at the school. I volunteer at middle school, high school. I see the interaction.
Yeah.
It's very weird. It's a very weird dynamic because our generation wasn't like that. It was different.
I said, there's nowhere close to our generation of everything we did. Just about everything we did was one-on-one, face-to-face, eye-to-eye. I don't care if it was, you know, go bowling, go dancing, go, you know, shopping for utilities, you know, get some pen, paper, or whatever we need. And then also, I mean, for all those who tune in, man, he on, you know, Chaos Conversation, man. But still, this is the gym this year. The gyms are opening back up, and they're not quite what they used to be. But gym is another good place. Planet Fitness, wherever you do, that's a good place because you will see for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. You will see, okay, does this man here have on fake this, fake that? Okay, good. Is this man, this woman? Oh, okay, good. You know, you can go approach somebody. I mean, there if you want to. I mean, you have to get creative when you go to the gym. You can't now. One thing you can't do.
Bruce, you can't be approaching these chicks at the gym because then you're gonna be. I see this trend on social media with these females because I follow a lot of gym people. You know, we both work out, where they accuse you, especially females, they accuse you of harassing them just because you're trying to do your workout, but they have their phones up on tripod stands and all this other stuff, but yet they got their phones up trying to record themselves, and you're wondering, maybe you walk by and you just look. We're not even talking about staring, we're just talking about look, because you might be on camera, maybe you're not trying to be on camera, and then they accuse you of stalking them or harassing them because you asked them, maybe you walked up to them and said, hey, you know, are you, because this happened to me one time in the gym. It was a young female, and I asked her, you know, she was probably early 20s or maybe teens or late teens or whatever. And I was waiting on a rack. So I was just like, hey, I saw she was almost done or whatever, because I was counting the sets. And I was like, hey, how many sets do you have left? And she was like, one. But then like her boyfriend or something came up. I could hear him. I could hear him out of my ear or whatever. And I was like, he said something like, oh, is he bothering you? Da 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 da. And I was like, these simp dudes, boy, they insecure dudes. Like, we at the gym, dude. I went over there to ask, is she almost done? There's not an unlimited amount of equipment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just be careful in the gym because people have their headphones on and they're kind of tuned in and in their zone. So I would say if you're going to talk to somebody at the gym, wait till they are either leaving the gym, coming in the gym, or...
Hold up. See, but before you go there, Sam, let me say this. That's why, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, it is good to learn how to read body language.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Body language is, the first thing is a simple hi or how you doing, or, you know, what's up, just whatever your greeting is, and see what their response is. Normally, this is not every time, but normally in the gym, women are forward focused and they ain't playing. A lot of women, they're forward focused because they're trying to get rid of, you know, they're trying to get down to a certain size by a certain time. So she may not even smile at your butt sometimes.
They're trying to grow that booty, like all these booty workouts. That's what they're trying to do.
If she does a little fake smile and then turn around and put her fierce game face back on. So and when you go to the gym, like Sam was saying, to avoid all those, you know, to avoid those insecurities about men or women looking in, and if the man or woman you're trying to, you know, get to know or talk to, whatever the case is, you gotta read body language and be able to just keep it simple. And because there's a lot of women who go to the gym and they don't go with their man because they're trying to get ready for their man. You know what I mean? He'll working third shift, she at the gym, you know, 7 to 9 or 7 to 8, whatever time she be there, and it happens to be the same time that you're there. And it's just a matter of, you know, it's just knowing how to read the body language and ask the right questions. You know,
there's definitely gym etiquette. There's definitely gym etiquette. You know what I'm saying? But also, ladies, if you don't want guys looking, because at the end of the day, we're males and guys, alpha males, especially as alpha males. I think they should put a dress. I know this is a side topic, but I think they should put a dress code in place at the gym. If you come in there with a damn near thong on in the gym and you expect nobody to look, or you got see-through yoga pants with nothing on underneath, I mean, what the hell you expect these dudes to do? You're wearing that for one reason and one reason only, because you know the shit attracts attention.
Oh yeah.
So get rid of that. They need to get over themselves, man. It's ridiculous.
What do you call those shirts, man? They're not really, they're not spaghetti strap shirts, but they're shirts that just show from they go from like the breast up to the.
Like a sports bra or whatever.
Okay, sports bra. Ladies, you cannot be walking in there with the daggum sports bra and these daggum and those tight what they call leggings on, and then some daggum Reeboks or whatever, and you showing off half your body to a man, and the leggings stop at your calves. I mean, you go in there and you talk about you trying to lose weight. If your ass is really trying to lose weight, you should have on a daggum sweatsuit, because you will sweat almost double the amount with a sweatsuit on. Just get you some ice water, but you sitting there.
I mean, I don't think they should not wear those things. What I'm saying is the stuff that's like see-through or minimal, because I go to the gym and I mean, it's like ass cheeks hanging out in the gym.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to walk by. I'm not trying to, and yeah, you looking like, what is wrong with this person? Because if you're going to do a squat, how you going to do a squat in that?
Exactly. Then again, but going back to what we were saying earlier, the whole point of finding him or her is to not be looking. So while you at the gym, you there to work out, you there to get in shape, you there to do your thing. But now that doesn't mean when you see one or come across one, that's where your mature level, not his or her game, but your mature level is going to have to kick in to know what to say, how to say it, read body language, pick up the clues in advance, like Sam was just saying. If you hear the woman being insecure or the man being insecure, then that means take a step back, or just shake your head and walk on and just go try to find something else to do, man. That's all I used to do when I went to Planet Fitness. Was I'll be ready to go do that. I think it's the butterfly. Yeah, I'll be ready to go do that butterfly machine, man. And next thing I know, man, this one chick, she would do like you said. She would sit there and do like maybe she would do 5 sets of 10, and then she would just sit there, play on her phone for a second, and it was the other one is out of order, and I'm like, damn it, man, all right, let me go find something else to do. I come back again, and she's still there. I'm like, what the hell, man? But she's there on her phone, and after a while,
I hate that.
Yeah, and she's attractive and all that mess, because I see a lot of guys trying to holler at her at the time. I don't know what they're up to now. So I'm like, at times like that, that's reading body language of saying, okay, she's attractive. She's fine fit. She knows it. She cares about herself. And next thing I know, I mean, you can go ask a question, man, but when you meet insecure men or women like Sam did, man, it's a matter of, like, cause I ran into that. It's a matter of, it's not that she's hard to find, she's hard to talk to, or he's hard to find and talk to. What it is just bad timing. There's a time and place for everything, but that place ain't the right time for him or her, because they focus on, they got them daggum blinders on, man, and they all about working out and getting healthy or whatever.
Now, you said the magic word of another reason it's hard to find a mate these days, which this falls into all time. You said the key word right there. It's the wrong time. A lot of times timing plays a role in all of this, right?
It does.
You may, and we've probably all had this happen in our lives, right? Well, let's say I was ready to, I made myself available to be in a relationship, or I was interested in moving in that direction if I met the right person. And let's say you met someone, they may have been the right person for you, and you may have been the right person for them, but maybe they had just gotten out of a bad relationship, and they were still trying to find themselves and still trying to heal. So even though you were ready and you guys were compatible, the timing was not good. And so maybe you moved at a speed that they weren't ready for. Maybe they were moving slower or faster than you were ready for. I mean, this happened to me on both sides. So timing, I think timing is part of it as well. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean your chemistry's off. Your chemistry could be great.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't mean, but you could be, you could be out there, Bruce. Let's say you met somebody and this person got out of a breakup, and let's say the breakup was 2-3 months ago, let's say, but it's still fresh, And so maybe they're still thinking about this person. Maybe they're still crying about this person.
Yeah.
So even though they find you interesting, even though they're like, you know what, I really do like Bruce, in their heart, in their head, they like Bruce, but in their heart, they're still thinking about this other person that did them wrong. And, oh, I was in love with it. How could they do this? You know? And so it's just a timing thing right there.
And some people are, even after they've left their man, left their woman, it's not so much they're hard to find, or love is hard to find. What it is again, going back to where you're at, what stage you're at in your career, some people are damaged beyond repair. Some people are just traumatized. Some folks are just, some folks got a lot going on, man. Some folks have issues, but like I said, all this being said, after you do your medical health background check on people, because sometimes you are sitting there, and believe it or not, sometimes you ain't right. Sometimes you ain't even where you're supposed to be, and why, and that's why you ain't him or her, because you ain't even, you think you are, and you're not. It's like you might
what do they say? What do they say, Bruce? Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people.
Yeah. And sometimes that's why, and it's you can call it the law of attraction or whatever you want to call it, man. Prayer answered, but a lot of times I've been there before where I thought I was right. I'm like, hey, you know, I got my own place. I don't have any kids. I got a job, 9 to 5. But there still was some the mature level that I wanted to be date at is not quite where I was. I was probably on like a 7 to 8, where I prefer a woman who's a 10 as far as mentally and spiritually and in her heart and all the other good stuff. But there was times I fell short too. I didn't complain about it, but you gotta just, you know, be around the right people who are going to help you in those areas. And then I'll never forget, because what I did was I figured like, all right, man, where am I going wrong at? And what I did was I called about 5 or 6 women who were older than I was. They're still older than me, but I called women who were older than I was. And I'm like, listen, I need all the constructive criticism you can give me, and you can't hurt me. So go ahead. You won't hurt my feelings. Go ahead. And just about all, and not about all 5 of them, 2 out of all the 6 of them I called, 5 or 6 I called, about 4 of them already had men or were dating. Maybe 2 were married. And I mean, I haven't met their husbands or men yet. I said, listen, I just need some constructive criticism from you. And they all said about the same thing. So I was like, all right, cool, appreciate that. That year following, I changed all that, right? I improved myself in those areas. And next thing I know, the next year coming, everybody was like, you know, what's up? Something changed about you. I like, I appreciate your concern. I just kept it short and simple. But it's stuff like that where, fellas, ladies, that's why you can't come across him or her, because you ain't ready.
That's actually a great point right there, Bruce. That's probably one of the best things of this conversation today. If you out there struggling, and a lot of times you can't figure out what the issue may be, I think you all should do what Bruce just did. Even if you're in a relationship, even if you're married or in a relationship and something's going wrong, you continue to make the same mistakes or mess up doing the similar things, ask some people that are not necessarily within your tight friend group and say, hey, you know, this is the situation. This is what I'm doing. This is what other person's doing. Ask them to give you some real 100% authentic, constructive criticism, and tell them to be brutally honest with you so that you can actually hear, because sometimes that's what it takes, right? Sometimes you have to hear from somebody else to be like, oh man, dang, okay, now that they said it and 5 other people said the exact same thing, damn, I need to take a step back and work on this. So that's a really good point there. Another good one. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said it is, and it can be. What did it for me was not just I hearing all my friends saying the same thing. It was like I knew I had a hunchy feeling that I had to change it. This is just on a scale of 1 to 10. I figured I was like maybe at a 7 or 8, but they're like, nah, man, you down here like your attitude's like a 2 to 4. You ain't nowhere near your attitude towards like a 10 or 4, man. So like, all right, well, appreciate that. And see, the thing of it is, don't try to use it against them in the future. Just take whatever they give you and run with it, because I mean, when you don't have, because everybody's going to grow, mature at a different stage of their career, develop, and mature at a different stage of their career. But me, I was like, all right, man, I'm almost to the finish line, and before I cross over the finish line, I want to make sure I have everything I need in order, in place. And there's always more out there than what you think there is. Like, no one has all the answers. So the thing is, reach out any way you can for them. But ladies and gents, when you ain't coming across him or her, It's like always do like Michael Jackson. We talk about it's the man in the mirror. It's the man. Sometimes it is, not all the time.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Let's see. Another one that's kind of, I guess we didn't touch on this one. I would say a lack of, this goes back to the gym, right? Lack of confidence.
Oh, hell, man.
And this kind of goes with that fear of rejection type thing. I think a lot of people, and this doesn't mean you're not attractive according to society standards or stuff like that. I mean, I've met people that are visually you would say, oh, this person is one of the most beautiful people you ever seen in your life. Mm-hmm. But they don't have any confidence for whatever reason. Maybe it was their childhood, ex relationship or whatever. So I think low confidence, low self-esteem can cause you to not only not meet the right person, meet the wrong person, or not meet anyone at all, because now that low self-esteem has gotten to the point where, you're blaming yourself, you're not comfortable in your own skin. And people can read that, right? You can read if someone is confident. You can read if someone is not confident in who they are. Like you said, the body language, the eye contact, how they interact with you, how they talk to you. And that can lead someone to be like, you know what, I don't want to deal with that because they got some other stuff going on and I don't have time to like repair this person, Yeah,
a lot of women say they do that with men by the way in his walk. That's the way women say they do that. Now, I mean, if that's the way they do it, that's the way y'all ladies do it. Hey, do what you got to do. But fellas, we don't do it that way as far as walk. We look
not at all.
We look at a whole different. We look at women a whole different way than how she walks. I mean, it's more about her conversation can be one, like Sam said, the eye contact. There's a lot of things we go about from the outside, and there's times I've seen women who don't even have it all on the outside. But her conversation about being entrepreneur minded is striking. I've seen women.
Yeah.
It's everybody's different, man. But at the same time, you want to know why? I mean, it's the summertime. We're gonna be here before we know it. The weather's so nice. Now, fellas, trying to stare at everything you see, man, because there's too much flashing in your face all day, every day, especially in ATL. She ain't that hard. You just gotta be, like I said, be yourself, man. Relax, and everywhere you go, have the confidence in what you got going on, and don't wear your feelings on your shoulder or your sleeve either, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be wearing.
It's so true. I mean,
yeah.
Like you said earlier, be comfortable in your own skin. Yeah. People can talk about what's that? The singer's name? Lizzo. Okay. She's a big woman, but she's very confident in who she is. She doesn't care how big she is. She's not out here saying, "Oh, I need to lose 100 pounds or do this and that." Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, but she's comfortable with who she is. She doesn't have that low self-esteem. She presents herself in a confident manner, and that works for people. That works for a lot of guys. Guys might be like, you know what? She's comfortable who she is. It doesn't bother me that she has a little bit of extra. She has a few extra pounds, because if she's confident in her skin, then I'm confident in who she is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And there's times I've said before, man, I don't care who you are or what you are. I don't care if you're some judge. I don't care if you're some scientist, man. You are always going to attract someone, men and women. You will always attract someone who is as close, keyword, close to perfect as you are. So I don't care if you are, let's say, for example, you do lack a little confidence, but you have everything else it takes to keep a relationship. You will attract someone who lacks something else. Probably not the same confidence, but who lacks, communication or something. They're going to lack just as much as you do in things that matter just as much as confidence does. It's not always going to be the same thing you lack, but you're only going to attract somebody who's as close to perfect as you are. I'll keep saying close to because, of course, we know nobody's perfect. Right. But there's areas where, okay, you may feel like every time you start a conversation with somebody, they walk off too fast. Okay, well, like we said earlier, check yourself, but also what's your energy? If your energy is like mine, because mine used to be like that. if your energy is always in a fight mode, in a debate mode, or something like that, then you're gonna drive people away like I used to. I mean, I used to drive women away, and it was like, all right, she was just trying to, talk to me about this or that because she saw my card somewhere or something. I wasn't sure what she wanted from me. It was a conversation when she approached me. Right? We're like, okay, are you from here? I'm like, woman, you ain't asked me my name yet. When she talking like, but in the same time, what's crazy is I would run into the same woman down the line, and we both seemed to like improve who we were, and the conversation went much better. It wasn't our surrounding, because sometimes we just be at Target, we be at Best Buy, we be out doing our thing, and we'll run across each other at a gas station or something, and the conversation would go much smoother. But sometimes, most of the time, it was too late. She talking to somebody or whatever the case is, or I see she had, I could see she had a little something growing in the stomach area. It's like, okay, no, thank you, and it was like, all right. So it's just small stuff like that, but it's like you're only gonna approach. I don't care who you are. You are always going to approach somebody or come across somebody because it's the energy, man. It's gonna draw y'all together. The energy is gonna find y'all, and they're only gonna be as close to perfect as you are. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's so many energy. Yeah, energy. That's a whole other topic. I mean, there's so many instances where you could be. I believe in energy, and I believe some people give off of energy that matches another person's energy, and you can sense that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a strong connection. And sometimes it's hard to get rid of that connection that has been established based on that energy. And it could have been a 10-minute conversation or a multi-hour conversation. You know what I'm saying? But that energy is powerful. So, but hey, the topic today was, things that are blocking individuals, men and women, from finding a romantic partner. And we've gone through a host of those things, right? From
romantic
social
partner.
circles. Romantic partner. Yeah. Expectation, unrealistic expectations to what we say, fear of rejection, confidence, timing. Those are all valid points, and there's probably a plethora more that we could go through. And we've made note of a lot of those, and we're going to go through those in a different episode. But these are the ones we thought were the most important today. So I mean, I think the conclusion of my side is like, it's important to remember when you're trying to find a romantic partner, it takes time, it takes effort. You have to put yourself out there, but most importantly, it's a long race for some people, and you shouldn't go out there chasing. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself, do your normal activities, do your normal things, but also, like you said, carry the confidence and continue to meet people where you meet people. It is, and expand that circle so that you can meet more people.
And I'm gonna close this right here, man, because I got a minute. Is, ladies and gents, do not, and I'm gonna say it again, I'm gonna keep on saying it, do not keep up with your peers just because you see them getting in relationships, because you see their asses getting married. Do not try to keep up with them, because I will tell you up front, it ain't gonna last that long.
Oh man, what is this? Keeping up with the Joneses,
Hey, whatever it is, ladies, never try to do that, because you try to do that, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. Probably a short bit of experience at the most. But
just because your homegirl over there or your boy over there got somebody, that doesn't mean you need to rush into something, because a lot of times it's going to end up in disaster, because now you're rushing into something because somebody else is doing it. You know what I'm saying?
And you get heartbroken, you get taken advantage of, you get, downplayed, whatever the case is, things gonna go wrong, and then you don't built yourself all the way up, with a self-confidence, experience you had, and or maybe you just came back from being heartbroken and you're trying to jump back into it because you see your friends. It's like, nah. I mean, like me, that's why I'll take my time. I pace myself. I all time I'm doing that, I'm always improving. I'm always bettering myself, and wait, here and there.
Very true. Well, hey, we thank you guys for tuning in today. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Chaos Conversation, Twitter, Chaos Convo 01, TikTok, YouTube, both Chaos Conversation. We're posting on there. weekly. Follow us there. Check us out. Spread the news. Like, subscribe, share with others if you found the content valuable. If you have some advice for us or you just want to ask us a question, you know, hey, do it there. DM us, whatever. If you don't feel like asking in front of a larger audience, you know, send it personally to us. Yeah, there you go. So, hey, every week on Tuesday, unless we you know, sometimes we have things pop up or whatever, we can't show up. But most of the time, if we do that, we at least try to create some short videos or something else to pose a question and get, you know, create a little controversy and get people talking or whatever. So, hey, continue to follow us, and we will see you guys next week.
All right, peace.
There we go.